So welcome back to another FIFA 22 career mode video. Today we're talking about the things you should do or try if you're bored of FIFA 22 career mode. This is part 2 and we did part 1 before. I've got some extra little tips that could help you if you're bored of the game. But obviously, if you're bored of career mode, you've probably already tried half of these things that I'm going to talk about today. But regardless, maybe one of these things will help you out. We might do a part 3 in the future. So if you want to leave any of your suggestions on the things you do when you're bored of career mode, you might get picked for a future episode. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like for me, it always helps, and make sure you subscribe for more FIFA 22 videos. First tip today is the financial takeover challenge. This is a popular idea where you pick a club and then you inject them with as much cash as possible, and then you sign players and you try and take the club to the top. This is like when a rich overseas billionaire comes, buys your club, and then all of a sudden you've got Mbappe playing for the team, earning $5 million a week. This can be a fun save if you pick a smaller club in a lower division and you try and work your way up with that. But it could also be boring for some people because once you sign the best players and you keep winning the games, what else is there to do? Now, you don't have to go and inject the club with $1 billion or pounds. You can also inject them with less, which could make it a little bit harder to sign all the best players in the first season. Just check the settings here before you start your career mode to see what you want to do. You can even do like 10 million for a club that might not even have 10 million to begin with. That could be like a mini financial takeover. You can go all the way up to $1 billion. You can do $500 million. And then 200 million, 100 million, whatever you want there. You do have to decide what you want to do here because once you get into the save, you can't actually inject more cash. So you got to make sure you know what you're doing before you actually start. My next suggestion is going to be doing a save with your favorite team. You'll be surprised how many people do career mode each year but never use their own team, the club that they support. You don't find it boring when you have an emotional interest in the club that you're actually managing. This is literally the first career mode I do every year, the Manchester United career mode, and that gets me invested into the game because, I care about United, so I'm always going to be enjoying the career mode a bit more when it's actually the club I support. And I would recommend it if you haven't done one already with your favorite club, you might as well do one now, and maybe you won't be as bored as before. Now, another pretty obvious thing that often gets overlooked is to do saves with realistic transfers only. I'm sure we've all done a save where literally in the first window, the first day of your new job, you've got this massive budget and you start buying Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, bringing them over to the club, and basically, you're just having your fun with the best players in the world. And while that is fun to play with the best in the world, it basically gets boring very quick because you're winning all these games, there's nothing else to do after a season or two. So if you do realistic transfers only, you might be bringing in players that are less quality, realistic signings, and it might make it more fun and interesting because it's more true to life. Another thing you can try and do in the settings is to disable the first transfer window. This is good if you want to do a quick one season career mode save with any kind of club, and sometimes I actually do this as well. I think sometimes it's more fun to start a save with the first window off because you're stuck with the team that is available in real life. So if the team's struggling in real life, you're stuck with those players for the first half of the season until January. You can't do any transfers in the first window, which is usually where career mode people get the checkbook out and start doing all these transfers to boost the squad. You have to stick with what you have until January, and then if you want to do something after that, that is up to you. You can sort of make it more realistic and fun if you disable the first transfer window because other clubs can't sign players as well. So the first few months of a career mode season will be with all the current teams in real life, which is actually more realistic. It could be more fun. I know it's not the biggest tip in the world, but you could try it out here in the pre-career settings. Just go to the transfer window. You can disable it or enable it. If you disable it, that means that you'll have the current and realistic squads until January, which some people might like. Next up, let's talk about the Youth Academy career mode save. This one is a popular one, I think, for career mode players. I've seen it around on YouTube and stuff. Essentially, I think you can only sign players from your youth academy or the regens from other clubs. This can be a cool storyline because you don't know which players you're going to get when you start because the youth players get generated randomly, and also the youth players are going to be unique to your save as well because they're not real life players in world football. So every save will be different. I know a lot of people love the youth academies in career mode, the youth players, and I guess this is a good opportunity to use the youth a lot and grow them into a super team in a few seasons' time. You might be bored of playing career mode because you're using a loose negotiation strictness. Pretty much there's a setting when you start your save to either make it strict or loose. Apparently strict makes it much harder to sign those high level players. You're not just going to be able to throw money at anyone and they'll come and join the club. If you leave it on loose, it's more likely that you can just throw money at people and they'll come and join the club. So I usually play on loose, but maybe I should be playing on strict as well because it could make it more realistic, which is more fun for a lot of people. Let me know if you play on strict and let me know if it's harder to sign those high level players. I'm not really sure. I never really tested it out, but if you're looking for more of a challenge when you sign players, maybe try out the strict one. It could make career mode less boring because you can't sign those high level players as easily. Now this next one is something that I sort of came up with. It's called the 16-year-old manager. Now most people when they're 16, they're still in school, they play the PlayStation, and who knows what else they even do these days. But what about a 16-year-old actually becoming a professional football manager? This storyline turns a 16-year-old into a professional manager. You need to start in player career mode, create a pro, and make sure the birth year is 2004, December 31st. That'll make him 16 years old in the game. Once you're in a player career mode, you have to retire the player. And after we retire, you guys know what happens next. You start getting manager offers. Which club in their right mind is going to start offering a job to a 16-year-old who just retired from playing professional football? Anyway, in career mode, anything is possible. So we're going to sign for Southampton as a manager, earning $61,000 a week, probably even more than what we would have got as a player. And there we go. The whole football world is excited for a 16-year-old. It doesn't even look 16, to be honest. It looks about double the age. But yeah, we've got this guy here, 16 years old, managing as a professional manager. Now, I know there's not much else to do after that because basically the whole manager mode is the same. But if you're interested in a 16-year-old being a manager, then I guess maybe this storyline is for you. Now, if you're sick of FIFA 22 completely, you don't even want to look at the game anymore, my next suggestion is to play an older FIFA game. This was something that I did last year on the channel, and it was super fun. I played like FIFA 15, FIFA 14. It doesn't get much better than that. The reason why you would want to play an older FIFA game in 2022 is the fact that you get the nostalgia of an older FIFA game, and probably the gameplay is more fun as well. FIFA 15, FIFA 14, they have awesome gameplay, and the graphics are not too bad as well. Obviously, it's not competing with next-gen Frostbite, but it's good enough, to be honest. You can pick up these old FIFA games very, very cheap on eBay, $5 for a pre-owned game, and you can have tons of fun. It doesn't cost you really much. That's what I usually do, and if you get sick of playing the current game, you can always go back to an older game at any time and have that fun and nostalgia, because they never get old. It just never gets tiring to play that gameplay. It's always addictive. If you're bored of FIFA 22, this could be the perfect time to play The Journey. Some people never played The Journey. It came out a couple years ago now, so it's been a couple years. You might have never played it, or you might want to revisit it now because you might have forgot about it. If you have FIFA 17, FIFA 18, and FIFA 19 lying around, now could be the best time to play The Journey if you're bored. It's basically like a player crew mode, but it has all the cutscenes. You get different features as well, different customization, and just stuff that you wouldn't see in normal FIFA. And since it's sort of like a story, you won't get bored playing it because there's always a progression across the 3 games. So make sure you check out The Journey if you haven't already. It's pretty cool. Now, if all those tips did not help you, you're still bored of FIFA career mode, you don't know what to do, then I guess it's time to play a whole different game. Dump FIFA altogether and play maybe eFootball or something. It is free to download. You might want to play that. Or you can even try Football Manager. I do recommend Football Manager for that manager mode experience. It's probably even better in terms of features than what EA gives you anyway. But you can even play it on the Xbox, or you can play it on the PC. You can also just not play football altogether. It could be the best time of the year to dump the football games and pull out the F1, Elden Ring maybe, WWE 2K, you know what I'm talking about, all those games that are available on the market, and just wait until FIFA 23 comes around to start playing a football game again. But that's pretty much all there is to say there. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time.